Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Asnan's Cricket World. Well, we got to see a very much a one-sided encounter between India and Sri Lanka, where India just outplayed, outsmarted, and just walloped Sri Lanka. And Indian base battery with Mohammad Siraj, who has held a great performance over the past few years, and he showed his class with the ball. Well, Sri Lanka won the toss, and in overcast conditions, and they decided to bat first. Particularly, probably wary of the performance they had in the last game, where they were could not chase down a small total. So they were a little wary of the Sri Lankan bowlers. So they decided to bat and put up a target. But it was not. It was quite the opposite. With Jasprit Bumrah leading the way with a nick wicket very early on, and then it was the Mohammad Siraj show, who bowled with such great lines and such precision that the Sri Lankan batsmen had no clue, and very soon they were reeling at 18 to 6 and could have been looking at the lowest score in the one-day internationals, but some little resistance, but not a lot, and they were bundled out for just 50 runs in about 16 overs with 6 wickets to Siraj. The best figures by an Indian bowler in the Asia Cup, second best in Asia Cup, while behind Ajanta Mendes, who took 6 for 18 something in the 2008 Asia Cup final. And Hardik Pandya took 3 wickets and Jasprit Bumrah took a wicket, and Sri Lanka just bowled out for 50 runs, which was a cakewalk for the Indians, and they made it in just 6 overs. So this was a very clinical and a ruthless performance from the Indian side, as they were their performance was synonymous to the Australian side of the 2000s era, and they were just clinical in all aspects of the game. Which brings us to the conclusion that India are quite a force swing in this World Cup, especially being played in their home conditions, and they look have probably all bases covered, with just a few adjustments with their batting, their bowling, especially their bowling department, because they have a great array of backup bowlers as well in their lineup, because with Jasprit Bumrah, Siraj, and Shami, and Prasidh Krishna was sitting on the bench, and they have a good pace battery. The spinners are firing in the right cylinders. So India's performance really gives ruthless performance gives a lot of good signals going into the World Cup. This was Sri Lanka's 7th title in the Asia Cup, and they've got the most titles now, while Sri Lanka, on the other hand, I think were clinically outplayed by they could have been they just had gone under a bit of a confidence going into this match. They had made one change only, with Mahesh Theekshana making injured and getting away for Dushan Hemanta, but the batting of the Indians, of the Sri Lankans, just couldn't click, and they were outplayed, outfoxed, and there remains a chunk in their armour, because they have got a very impressive young side, but on their day against a good quality bowling attack, they might just they might just have to suffer, because it happened in the last game as well, when the pressure was on. They just couldn't click, and if Pakistan had Naseem Shah and Haris Rauf in their side in the last game, the situation might have been different for the Sri Lankans. So Sri Lanka will have to look at these aspects of the game. Their batting have very good talented players, but they will on a good bat on against good quality opposition. They will have to adjust to their. They will have to look and adjust to those conditions. So India, having won this tournament, have shown to the world that they are quite formidable going into the tournament. They had quite a few number of players who performed so exceptionally well. In fact, all the batsmen got runs in this whole tournament, with Shubman Gill making a century. Rohit Sharma also got among the runs. Virat Kohli got, and KL Rahul, after coming back from injury, got some runs. And then there was Hardik Pandya and Ishan Kishan also contributing from down the order. And the bowlers all clicked, with Bumrah showing his class coming back from injury. Siraj showing the world that he's not more than just test match line bowler. He can contribute in the one days as well. And also the spinners, Kuldeep Yadav with 9 wickets in the game, in the tournament, and also Hardik Pandya chipping in with quite useful wickets, getting some key wickets for India. So India, as a bowling and a batting unit, have clicked on all cylinders in this tournament. As for Sri Lanka, they came on the back of strong performances, and but there are a little bit of holes in their batting lineup which were exposed during the middle overs in the last game as well. Apart from Charit Asalanka, and the middle order of batting is not really fighting for them, so they will have to look into that as well. So while if we look at Pakistan, they were clearly hampered by Haris Rauf and Naseem Shah's injury, and they had no backup plan without them. So they will have to also look into their that aspect. Also, the spin department for Pakistan is a bit of a question mark, because Shadab Khan hasn't looked one day ready for them in quite some time. So we'll have to look into that aspect and we'll have to name a squad that has a few good spinners. And Naseem Shah, with Naseem Shah ruled out of the World Cup, they will have to look at another fast bowler to replace him. And we will have a discussion on that a bit later in our videos. So congratulations to Team India, and also a special mention to the groundsmen who did a remarkable job. They were given good prize money as well for their contributions of getting the grounds ready for after a lot of rains being played in this arena, in this area, and they did a commendable job. And also there will be a few question marks on the timing of this Asia Cup and the venue shifting. That's another matter. But overall, it was a good tournament, and India showed their class yet again. And let's see how they respond play in the coming to the World Cup. We'll be back for some more videos, and it's bye for now.